It's white to move. This is the moment that made this game famous. Tal is about to do something. It looks impossible. And it's not just the queen. Tal's knight and bishop are also hanging. Keep this position in mind. Now, let's go back to move 1 and see how this attack was built. Hello everyone, welcome back to Queen Sacrifice Legends, episode 16. I'm Aniket, an Arena International Master. Today's game is Mikhail Tal versus Hans, played at 1962 Varna Olympiad. Tal was a former world champion and one of the most dangerous attacking players in chess history. Hans was a strong German master, but in this game, Tal drags him into exactly the kind of position where one defensive mistake can become fatal. If you enjoy classical attacking games and queen sacrifices, subscribe. Now, let's start from move 1. The game begins with Queen's Indian type setup. D4, Knight F6, C4, E6, Knight F3, anti-Nimzo Indian, and B6. Queen's India defense on the board. Knight C3, Kasparov variation, Bishop B4, Bishop G5, Bishop B7, E3, H6, attacking the bishop, Bishop H4, and now Bishop takes C3 check, B takes C3, and D6. Black gives up the bishop pair and damages white's pawn structure. So black has a clear idea. Close the position, attack the center, and later use white's double c pawns as a target. Tal responds with knight d2, e5, striking in the center right away, f3, reducing the power of this bishop on b7. Queen to e7, e4, again striking in the center and making sure this bishop is about to become a useless piece. Knight bd7, bishop d3, knight f8. I won't go too deep into opening theory. The important thing is the imbalance. White has the bishop pair, central space, and attacking chances. Black has a more solid structure and wants to keep the position closed. That trade off becomes important later. After 12 moves, we already see the story. Tal has more space and active pieces, and Hans is still in the center. So even if the material looks normal, the position is already becoming dangerous. And now we reach the first critical moment. Pause the video here. It's white to move. Find the move that keeps the attack alive and try to think like Tal. Most players would think about a quiet move like castling first, but Tal plays pawn to c5. Point is simple. Tal refuses to let black keep the position closed. And after d takes c5, d takes e5, queen takes e5, and now queen to a4 check. White keeps black off balance. Queen check is important because black still cannot castle normally, and every tempo matters. And here, he should continue the game with knight to d7, and after bishop g3 attacking the queen, there's a queen takes e3. And black is the one who is having slight advantage. But after queen a4 check, he played c6, and now the position is again equal. And here, Tal calmly castles. This is the first sign that the attack is more important than the material count. Tal has already opened the center, while black's king is still stuck. Now we continue the game. After knight g6, attacking the bishop, knight to c4, attacking the queen e6, e5. Tal pushes again. Don't memorize every move here. Just notice the pattern. Tal keeps opening lines, and black keeps trying to survive and coordinate. The king never gets fully safe, and now black plays the best move possible in this position, which is b5. At first, this looks like a strong move. Black attacks the queen on a4, gains space, and asks Tal a direct question. What are you doing with your queen? And don't forget, the knight and bishop is also hanging. But this is exactly the kind of movement Tal wanted. Most players would move the queen, which is completely fine. But Tal does not, which is why the queen sacrifice later is not random. Position has been prepared. Black's king in the center, white's pieces are active, and the f6 square becomes the key. Now we reach the position from the start. Let's pause the video here. It's white to move, find the queen sacrifice. And the move is e takes f6. At first, this looks completely insane because black can take the queen. B takes a4. So Tal has given up the queen. The point is not the queen. The point is the attack of black's king and the pass pawn on g7. Tal continues with f takes g7, attacking the rook, and now rook to g8. And Tal did not stop here. Bishop to f5. This is the next beautiful move. White's bishop joins the attack and black is still not safe. He has already sacrificed a queen and now he's giving up a bishop as well. And here the point is very simple. If black tries to take the bishop on f5, then white is completely winning after knight d6 check, which is simply a fork. And now Tal has won the queen back and he is completely winning. So that is why after bishop f5, the bishop cannot be captured. And you might be thinking, okay, let's not take the bishop, but we can take the knight. But the problem is, if black tries to play queen takes c4, he's still not safe. And the reason? Rook a1 check. And did you see the board? See this bishop pair and the rook and the pawn. And that's it. Black king is having no space to move. So he has to give up a queen on e6 and now rook takes e6. Not even taking the queen with bishop. And after f takes e6, there's a bishop takes g6 check. And this position is just so lost for black. So that is why after bishop f5, black decides to give up a queen and he played knight takes h4. And now Tal has to take the queen and he did. So bishop takes e6 and if black tries to take this bishop and play f takes e6, it's not great for him because of knight to d6. And now see the black's pawn structure. Every pawn is just so isolated and disconnected with the other pawns. So that is why after bishop takes e6, he played bishop to a6, just simply attacking the knight and the rook at the same time. And don't forget, the bishop is still hanging. And it looks like Tal is going to lose a piece. But no, Tal found a way to defend everything. And he started with knight to d6 check. And when king goes to e7, again both pieces are hanging. And now simply move the bishop and play bishop to c4. This is the final point of the combination. Bishop comes to c4. Knight on d6 is powerful and black's king is still being dragged around. And finally, black got the chance and he removed the pawn from g7 and he played rook takes g7. And yes, don't do a mistake and capture on a6. That is a losing mistake. Point is, there's a rook takes g2 check. And after king h1, there's a king takes d6. And now black is completely winning in this endgame. So that is why after rook takes g7, Tal continued the game with g3. Left this knight hanging, simply defending the pawn on g2. King takes d6. Bishop takes a6 and there's a knight to f5. The queens are gone from Tal's side, but the position is not about queens anymore. And here the game is still equal. Hans has one extra pawn, but his pawn structure is very bad. And now Tal continues with clean technique. And he played rook a to b1 and now black should continue the game with knight e3. And when the rook moves to e1, there's a knight to d5. And now he got his king safe even though it's in the center, and black is completely fine. But unfortunately, instead of knight e3, he played f6, which is a mistake. And Tal continues the game with rook fd1, finally pivoting his last piece into the attack, king to e7, rook e1 check, king to d6. Black is aiming for a draw, but Tal, he played king to f2. And now black is just stuck. His pieces has to defend the pawns because they are so disconnected and isolated. And now black played another mistake and he played c4. Tal continued the game with g4, attacking the knight, knight to e7, and now rook to b7. Tal is slowly and surely making sure his pieces are becoming so active, and he has made a pin at the same time. Rook ag8, the only move which is working for black. Bishop takes c4, attacking the rook, and now knight to d5. Hans is ready to trade more pieces and go to the equal end game. Bishop takes d5, c takes d5, and now rook b4. Tal simply said he wants both rooks on the board. The reason is simple because black's king is not safe and still in the center of the board. And here, black should continue the game with pawn to f5. And if g takes f5 happen, and now Tal can even lose the game because of rook to g2 check, king e3, rook e8 check, and he just skewered the rook and he's completely winning now. So that is why Tal has to be careful, but f5 was way to go. But unfortunately, black played rook c8 and now rook takes a4, rook takes e3, rook to a6 check. And now, because the pawns were so disconnected and isolated, now Tal is slowly and surely capturing the pawns. King to c5 and now rook takes f6. And now Tal is the one who got an extra pawn. Pawn to h5, finally challenging the Tal's pawn structure. Pawn to h3, h takes g4, h takes g4, and now black still may have a chance. But unfortunately, he played rook to h7. And his plan was fine. He wants to give a check, try to do some damage. But unfortunately, Tal continued the game with g5, the best move, rook to h5, rook to f5. And now Tal is completely winning, and he also knows that. They continue the game for few more moves like rook c2 check, king g3, king c4, rook e5, attacking the pawn on d5, d4, and now the only move which is working, not easy to find. And the move is b6. Tal started his own pawn and he wants a queen on the board. Rook h1, not trading the rooks. Rook to c5 check, king d3, rook takes c2, king takes c2, and now king to f4. Don't forget that rook g1 is coming. So if you push a pawn, you will lose a pawn and the game is again draw. So king f4, simple, a prophylactic move. So rook g1, attacking the pawn, and now rook g5. And in this position, black simply resigned the game because black's pawn is just too fast. Even if it try and capture on here, after king takes d3, g7, d2, g8 queen, d1 queen, and don't think the game is draw because there is a queen b3 check. And now Tal has forced the queen trade again. And after king d2, there's a queen takes d1 check, king takes d1, and now Tal can simply push the pawn and is much faster and is completely winning here. So that is why black simply resigned the game after rook g5. So the queen sacrifice did not lead to instant checkmate. It led to something just as strong, a winning endgame. The lesson is simple. Queen sacrifice worked because Tal had activity, a central attack, and a dangerous pawn that mattered more than a queen. And do not forget about black's pawn structure, isolated and disconnected. Before sacrificing your queen, don't just count the material. Check forcing moves, king safety, piece activity, and pawn structure. So that was Mikhail Tal versus Hans from 1962, also known as Misha Impossible. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe for the next Queen Sacrifice legend. Also comment below, would you have played e takes f6? I will see you in the next one.